I want to welcome you back to the 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2021. Thank you so very much for being with me today and each day on this long journey that we have been on for the last 3 months. We are in our last week. Today is day 93. And we are going to be doing this really versatile, cute pattern called KANDYSNAKE. And it has got versions of it that I love. I love this little slinky version here. And the original version can be made sort of organic, so that's pretty cool. I adore this shell version of it. It's going to be really cool. This would be great for borders and things, as would all of them. So let's get started. Okay, sorry. I always have the obligatory ad when I'm trying to get started, and I'm trying to keep up with questions in chat. So I apologize if I take a pause every now and then to try to glance at chat and see if we've got any questions, and I appreciate your patience with that. All right, so on today's tile, I'm going to be using this it's an original tile, and I'm going to be using a purple PN as I did on my example. Not a PN. What is wrong with me? Purple 01. And I'm also going to use my and one of my Arteza real brush pens in amethyst purple. And with that, I'm going to use my violet Verithin. And I may or may not use my graphite pencil. I haven't decided. And I might need my jelly roll just in case. So that's what I've got for today. Let's see if we've got any questions. Oh, they are talking about which project packs to buy in chat today. And I think Project Pack 10 is an excellent project pack to get. I think Project Pack 11 also is going to be good. I want to get Project Pack 10 and go through that. And maybe that would be a good thing for us to do here, because you could do that without having the project pack as well. You could make your own little, what do they call that? Sort of a ledger of the patterns. So, and I know a lot of you would like that. Excuse me. Before we get started, don't forget to like the video or the live stream when you finish. All right. Now, this is a very, very simple, versatile pattern. And she has on the step out, she has this done on a string line, I think. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be using a line of dots, and of course the line can curve or be straight or whatever you want. And we're going to do this sort of hump or hill or something that goes over, and we're going to skip that dot like so. And then on the other side, we'll connect that. And then from here, we're going to add all these lines and such, okay? So that's where we're going. And on the step out, it put the dots along a string line, but you don't need a string line if you don't want one. Now, the question is, what does Cindy want to do? Yes, Valerie, purple. I am purple. But I did Nancy's suggestion of pink, although my nails look more gold than pink. There's a lot of pink in there. Just can't see it. All right. So the question is what I'm going to do. So this is the original version without these 2 rows, okay? And we do the dots and we start adding the lines. And let's just do that. Let's stop talking about it and do it. My problem here is that what I really want to do is these. But I need to show you how this goes first. So let me be a good girl. and see if I can do this. All right. So I'm going to start, can you see? Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm going to start with a row of dots, I think. And you can make these far apart. You can make them close together, however you like. What you do with as far as your distance and such is going to make a difference in how your pattern looks. Okay. So again, you're going to go every other dot. So you're going to skip the dot here. And from the same dot, you're going to start the next one and skip the dot. Skip the dot. Just like this. Okay. And if you want to adjust these a little bit, you can. And you want to make these dots small enough to where they'll disappear. But by the time you get your lines drawn in, trust me, I doubt you will see anything. Okay. So now you're going to go to the other side and you're going to connect these dots that we skipped in the exact same way. And I don't want you to get wound up if these aren't perfect, of course. So you're going to end up with something like this. Now, the key to this is knowing where to start with the lines, right? So the easiest thing to do is just go to the end and start. However, if you'll notice here, I have these ends going around and tucking in. Okay, now you don't have to do that. You can have them straight out to the side and leave it that way, but that is a good way to do it. Now, let's just do that. Let's just do one like that. So that would go like this. Okay, each one of these dots that we put in, that's a center point. Okay, oops. Mari. Thank you, baby. Okay. Give me just a minute for the craziness to finish. Thank you. Thank you, baby. All right. So each of... River, no.
Simba.
All right. Thank you, sweetie. Ms. Oscara says, hi, Simba, River, and Mari. Thank you. They say hi right back. Oh, I have missed a bunch of chats. Sorry. Hi, Bridget. Nice to see you. And I saw, was it Fanny earlier? Hi, Nancy. Welcome back. All right. So here we are. This was the last dot, and this was the one next to it, okay? Except for the end dots, each of these dots is going to be a center point, okay? So each of these is going to go like this, and then we're going to make these fans like this. And you can make these lines curve, or you can make them straight. It's probably easier if you make them straight. Of course, straight is relative with me. Okay. And so this is how this works. And then you turn your tile. Here is your center. And here is your other line, right? And we're going to go like this. So keep in mind, each dot is a center point, except for the ones on the very ends. There's always an exception to every rule. Okay. Now the fun stuff is what happens if you start to curve your lines, right? Well, when I started curving my lines, I ended up with this very cool little slinky looking pattern, and which I adore, because then I started putting the sparkles in the tops. And that turned out really, really cool and cute. I love how it looks like a slinky, right? So that's what happens if you start to curve your lines. But when you curve them, then you have to do something a little bit different when you come to the places where the sections join. So we'll do an example of that. Yes, Valerie, I curved them all in the same direction. And when you change sections, you have to continue to curve them in that same direction, even though you're switching from one. Well, we'll get there. I'm going to do a curved version. Okay, so this is our next one, right? Put your center line and move out from there. Now, I am thinking you could make these really short and squat, and that might be an interesting border pattern. I have trouble with straight. You guys know this is true. And I don't like to really draw in the side lines. I think it flows better if I don't do that. And then here, I've got my next section starting. Just like this. Then I don't have that line getting doubled or anything like I had over here. I really like how versatile this pattern is. Now when I'm finished here, then I'm just going to switch my direction. So each dot is a center point. And when you get to the end of each section, you're just going to switch your direction from one dot to the next, right? Switch your focus, I guess, from one dot to the next. And then go from there. Facebook group. Here it is. Cindy's Zenders. Yeah. I'll turn it. You'll be able to see it at some point. All right, where was I? Oh yeah. If you want the link, I think Nancy has already posted it in the live chat, and you can just go up to it and find it. Scroll up. It is really easy to get into a Zen flow with this if you don't have a lot of other stuff going on, of course. And so I've ended the section, and now I switch my center point to here. Right? Does that make sense to everyone? And once you sort of get in the flow with this, all of the variations that we want to do are just going to be just as easy as pie. I don't know that pie is necessarily easy. I don't know where that comes from. Easy as pie. Pie is not easy at all. All right. So this is how this is done. Now she closes up the ends, right? So all you have to do is continue this over, right? Well, that one ended up being skinny, and that's okay, right? It's still going to work. And continue your lines, continuing with the same center point here. It's all about those dots, guys. Right? And there you have it. That's your pattern. Now, let us. Hi, Bridget. How are you? I have seen some new faces on here. Fanny, I think, is one, and Bridget is one. Welcome to all of you new guys. Welcome to the family. Lorianne says she is not getting this at all. Okay. All right. Let's do another one, honey. Okay. Dots. We're going to start with those dots. They can be big or small or far apart or whatever you want. Okay. Come with me, girls. It's not hard. Here we go. Okay. Every other dot. I'm going to try making these not quite so big this time and see what I come out with. Sort of skinny ones. I'm just curious. And the way this pattern functions is going to be the same, so it doesn't matter for you guys, okay? All right, so I have an extra one here. I'm just going to leave that, right? Then I'm going to fill in the other side. I'm going to make these kind of flat too, just for practice, because I'm curious how it'll look. And you know me and my discovery process, right? Now I can add another dot over here. Oops. And then that'll work better, I think. So that's fine. All right, so I'm going to close in the ends. For me, that'll be easier too. All right. So I just made a little partial circle all the way around. All right. Now, pick any one of these dots. Any one, ladies. I tend to start on the end, but if you want to start in the middle, you can. All right. And put a line from the dot to the curve above it. All right. Are we with me so far? Okay. Now let's fill this with lines. I'm going to curve these slightly. You can make yours straight. Okay, so now I have connected this next dot here, right? So I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to turn my tile slightly and I'm going to fill this in the other way until I connect with the next dot. So let's keep going. And it doesn't matter where you start. I'm trying to keep these curving the same way. It's not working for me. Right? And so now I have connected the next dot and I'm going to stop. I'm going to turn my tile 90 degrees or 180 degrees or whatever it is. And I'm going to choose whichever dot I want to go next. I'm going to choose this one right here. I'm going to put my center line in. Then I'm going to continue adding my lines. And this is now my center dot. We just switched dots, right? That center line wasn't really helpful, but... And because I'm doing the curved method, I'm just going to continue to curve. But if you are going straight, just do straight. If you are struggling with the pattern, I don't want you worrying about curves and sparkles and all of that stuff. Just draw your line straight until you feel comfortable with it. That's what I did when I learned it. Right? Ah, Bridget. You go, girl, with your lime green shirt. All right. Now, I have connected my dot with the last one, right? Turn your tile upside down. Okay, this is now my center. So I'm going to fill it. Here would be my center line. And I'm going to fill these. like this. This is now my center. And I'm going to continue with these lines all the way to the next dot, right? So now it's time to turn your tile upside down. Like a hammered butt, huh? Your lines are horrible. Well, it just takes practice, Nancy. I mean, take a deep breath, girl. You sound all wound up. Easy does it. It's going to be fine. Come on. All right. Now we have switch dots. This is our center point now. So I'm going to start over here with my lines. And in this version, I'm curving and sparkling, but you do not have to. You can draw these straight up and down, okay? Straight up and down diagonally. That's going to go in the square diamond circle thing. Where's my Roseanne? So now I have connected to the next dot. Lorianne, how are you doing, honey? Okay, so when you get to the next dot, you're going to turn your tile upside down. And you're going to, here's your center line. And you're going to start filling with this being your center point. Okay. I'm still looking for Lorianne to see how she's doing. Remember, it's just lines connecting dots. That's all we're doing. It's connecting these dots with lines. Valerie, you're lost too? Okay. All right, guys. Let me keep going. Where are you getting lost on the lines? No, I know you are. I'm not mad. You guys take a deep breath. Everybody. Let's do our bloody breathing. Let your shoulders drop down. Lorianne, especially you. Let those shoulders drop down, sweetie. Okay? This is going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Now, can you guys tell me, is it the internal lines that are causing you the issues? Connecting these with the lines? Oh, it's time for Simba to sing. No? Simba's gonna let that one go. Oh, 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 now we're gonna sing. Oh. Well, Susan, don't forget that art has an ugly stage. Sometimes what we have to do is power through the ugly stage and try to get past it, okay? Lori. All right, Simba. 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 Mari. Shh. It's okay, Bubba. Good singing, buddy. Good singing. All right. It's hard for me to explain stuff when they're singing, though. All right. So have you been able to do it with the lines straight, guys, like this? Because this is going to be your easiest way, just straight lines. And all I'm doing here is putting a little bit of a curve in them while I'm connecting them. We are just making these fan shapes. Okay? Okay. So Valerie, your thing is the curved lines, right? Okay. Okay. So when you get to the end, right, and you have joined up two dots, You're going to shift your focus to the next dot. This is now your center. And you're going to think, okay, so I'm going to end, and this is curved this way, right? And so this one needs to end with this same, wait, is that right? No, it's going to be going the other way. See? So what we're going to do is we're going to go this way with the curve. So think of maybe spoons all stacked together. Right? And so we curve, and we still have, then we have this going the other way, right? And so when we switch our focus, we're still going to be curving the same direction. Switch our focus to the next dot. Curve in the same direction. The fan shape is changing a little bit from dot to dot. Right? Now on this last one, here is where we're starting. Here is the next dot, right? So we're going to start the section here. And it's really important here to make sure you understand where your dot is and stick with that, because we're going to go all the way around. Just like a stack of spoons, right? Like that. Good. Nancy has it. Good deal. Hello, Juan Carlos. How are you today? ¿Cómo estás? I'm just guessing what language you speak. I don't know. You might speak Portuguese. All right. So this is my last section. I'm going to curve this all the way around. Now this is sort of curved in this direction. So I'm going to be curving this way, right? And we just curve it all the way around till it sort of looks like, you know, a peppermint. Like a stack of spoons, whatever you got, whatever imagery will help you. Okay, so now let's look at this shell version real quick. That is so pretty. I just love that. Okay. So let's see if, no, let's not. I was gonna say, let's see if we can make it curve, but no. Okay, so this one is done slightly differently. We are going to offset our dots. If you'll notice here, these are on this line right here, but these are up here, right? So there are two sets of dots here, and we're going to do that like this. I'm going to do one, I'm going to leave extra room. And again, they don't have to be perfect. I'm going to pretend there's an extra dot in there, and I'm going to leave room for one, okay? Then I'm going to move over a little bit here, okay, like there's another row. Thank you, Angela. And we're going to put a dot in between these two, but over here, right? Like it's right in between. And now the magic happens. Oh, thanks. We ended up with, I'm limited with what they have there is the problem. I'm gonna have to buy some powder myself and have them use it for me. This is supposed to be more pink, but it ended up being more gold, so you know, it is what it is. I figured sparkly, you can't go wrong. All right, so now we're gonna connect these, right? Just like we have been. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't even have to match. Doesn't have to be even. Isn't that great? All right. Now, shifting my tile, I'm going to do the same thing going back the other way. And we are still skipping dots. They're just down here, right? Yeah, now the magic's about to happen. Bolivian. Ah. Welcome. All right. Now we are going to connect this last dot with this last dot with the diagonal line. Okay. Now on this version, it helps me to do this first. So you have something that looks sort of like an ice cream cone. Okay. Does this make sense to everybody? Just diagonal lines connecting your dots. You know, try to make your line pretty smooth, but you know, doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Now, all we got to do is make our straight fanned out lines. So you guys are going to love how easy this is. Now, again, it's me, so I always start with the center line. And it's me, so they will probably curve just a tiny bit. Okay. But straight lines work. Yeah. Isn't that beautiful? Nancy Gregg, these nails are for you. I thought of you when I picked this pink color. I tried to find a color for Valerie. Was it Valerie or was it? Find a good one. We'll keep working on it. Like I said, I want to buy some colors that I like and then take them in, have them use mine. They should charge me less for that, right? Hello, Darcy. How are you? Good. Valerie says she's imperfect, and she's never been so imperfect, and she seems very happy about it. So that's awesome. It is great to stop worrying about perfection. It is great to let that burden go. This is something that I practice every single day. It doesn't have to be perfect because I am a horrible perfectionist. You guys know this. And so retiring this tendency, especially as related to art, is really important to me. Well, I have an extra one in there. And you can pack these really densely. You can leave sparkles or not. whatever you want. Yeah. I also like to come down at the bottom and just add some tiny little hatch lines to sort of beef up the color down there. That'll be something that'll enhance the shading. But you don't want to do a lot of that because the lines sort of take care of this themselves. Okay. Okay. All right, center line. Try to relax those shoulders, guys. I actually can't wait to put one of these shell things along a border, you know, in the small. I think this is going to make a gorgeous border for a tile. Okay, that's a little odd, but shading will take care of any oddness. Ooh, this angle is wiggly. You would love you would use these for underwater scenes. Valerie, you don't have bad English. You have excellent English. Yes, you are right. You are right. What you said about society expecting perfection from women and making it something that we come to expect from ourselves. That is very true. Very true. Well, I can hear my little bit of trouble over there snoring. She is a mess. Soon as we get Simba taken to the vet and checked out, we will be hitting the obedience training. All right. Today is Kashmir's birthday and Cinco de Mayo. Bridget, you can wait until the end of the video if you want. You can, you have to go out of the video to hit like and then come back in. So if you want to wait until the end, you can. All right, now, because of the varying ways that we can mess with this, I'm trying to think what I can do to sort of tie all of this together since I went ahead and used 3 different versions here. And I can probably, let's see, we got time. Got time to play around. So I can probably think of a few things to do here. So one of the things I want to do is say Happy Cinco de Mayo to everyone in across our southern border and across the world if you celebrate Cinco de Mayo. All right, so the first thing I like to do on this, of course, is fill in any gaps on my lines, like I've got some spots that are just too wide and they need a little density. I'll add in a few, but you have to use a really light touch, and sometimes those go south, so, you know, use that with care. These look okay. I've got that one spot right down the middle. All right, now something like that. Okay, so one of the first things I liked when I saw this was to put a little rounding here in my little corners. Of course, that's one of my very first things that I look at. Would rounding and line weight work on this? It almost always does. And so I'm just going in these little corners and rounding that off and putting a little ink in there. And of course, once I had done that, then I wanted to add the orbs. That one won't really work well, but I think I'm going to wait on the orbs for now. And see if this one can use a little bit. Yeah, I wanted to curve it and do something a little different, but some of you were having trouble with the pattern, and I wanted to make sure that everybody had it clearly. So I decided to go more, you know, straight and narrow. So sometimes, you know, plans change. Got to roll with it. I especially don't want anybody to leave one of these feeling frustrated or confused. That would be horrible. That would be the opposite of what I want. So on this one, I think I want to add some line weight with my rounding. Now, one thing I did play with in my sketch pad that I did not do today was the playing with the, see if I can show you my sketch pad. Playing like this and sort of putting the little rounded things in, you know, where we're making the petals. Like this. Yeah, so you can also do that if you want. And, you know, if you did that, then you could do little flower thingies. I mean, there's all kinds of embellishing things that you could do with this, right? Yeah, it might be wise, Fanny, to try this with the straight lines before you get too creative. But this pattern, I feel like, lends itself to creativity, and so I think that's pretty cool. It was one of those ones, as soon as I had drawn it, there were things I wanted to do with it, and I thought that's a good sign. It's a good sign for a tangle when it draws you. Makes you want to explore it. Oops. Got a little too much on that one. We'll survive. It's going to be fine. And I hope you guys chose whatever color pen today that you really want. I mean, it is spring. We might as well have some color in our lives. Okay. All right, now that I've done that, I think I'm going to aura that. So let's see what happens. And if Barbara is here, there's one of those little gaps that I left. Are we talking about Schrodinger's cat or Cassandra? Or are we talking about the box? Dun, dun, dun. Now, let's see. What else? Okay, so I'm going to put some orbs here. Lynn, do you like this pattern? Are you sure? It is cool, and it certainly has a lot of possibilities, which is something I love. All right, now, when in doubt, aura. I'm going to put orbs here, though, first. I think this wants orbs really badly over here. I really like the orbs with this one the best, I think. All right, now I'm going to aura this. Because when in doubt, Carlito, aura. I know Carlito knows this. Carlito was quoting me, or quoting that back to me the other day. Whoops. I took a little scenic journey here. Let's see if we can get back on track. I just saw somebody in chat say because we can. I've created a group of monsters, haven't I? I'm the lead monster, though. Don't you forget it. I'm just kidding. All right. So I'm liking that good. Well, even. I'm trying to decide if I want orbs on this one or not. I'm going to aura it first. right. Now, what can I do to make these one tile? What to do, what to do? Let's see. This is not your pattern, Nancy says. Well, you do have to slow down. And Diana, you guys stuck in the ugly stage, don't allow yourself to be stuck there. Power on through and finish your tile and see what you end up with. So I am thinking to begin with, I think I'm going to add another aura over here. And I think I'm going to make this aura a little bit different. It's just going to kind of do a dot, sort of long line dot thing. It's going to have some fun. Auras are still auras. If they're dots or stars or whatever you've got going on, they can be what they want. Okay, more interesting. I could put a message in Morse code. That would actually not be a bad idea. That would be kind of cool. Dots and dashes, yeah. So I am thinking that I want to add some hollabah here. Of course, my version of hollabah is not everybody's, but, or at least some hollabah-like connections. I don't know if I will actually be hollabah-ing anything. Maybe I will. I should have used Sarah Fowler's struts pattern here. That would have been cool. Let's see. So this will be going. Yeah, close enough. Now the question is, can we fit anything else in there behind? The answer is we can. So why not? Well, that one didn't turn out very nicely, but we'll pretend it's fine. Sometimes if you pretend hard enough, it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. Well, that was unfortunate. Okay, that's working? It's the reason I hesitated to do the hollabah part of this is because when you have a section like this that is sort of oh no, when you have a section like this that is sort of um, um, limited in space, maybe is what I'm trying to say, then what you end up with are the same types of things over and over, and it's very hard to get it to look um, more random, because all you can do once you put your straight lines in is do this cross thing, and then they all end up looking the same. So that's why I was hesitating, and we'll just see what we can do about this. I don't know that that will work. It's gonna have to, isn't it? And let's do one like that. And maybe one more. Okay. Not really random, but I think for what I need for this will be fine. Now the question is, what do I want to do to sort of incorporate this? Rounding and auras to the rescue, Susan says. She's out of the ugly stage. Woohoo! Me too. So when in doubt, aura. Let's do another aura here. I guess I could have done a dot dash one. Too late for that now. Plus, you start mixing two of those that are going in different directions, you're just going to get chaos. I say chaos. I have to buy a new purple pen. I have been really enjoying my opportunities to play with purple. So I hope you guys are playing with whatever your favorite color is. Just because you can, and it brings you joy and all of that other good stuff. Okay. We're getting closer. So I don't want to do the same thing I did here. I'm wondering if maybe I put in some kind of a grid behind it all. That might be interesting. Shells on top of a flower cart. Is that what it looks like? Fescues are shooting marbles on the shells. Yeah, Angela says she hasn't even gotten to the ugly stage. Well, she's been putting out fires in chat, so thank you, Angela. I appreciate your help today. And you too, Nance. I appreciate you guys. You too, Carlito. Thank you. Wasn't that cool that Veronica showed up yesterday in chat, our pattern creator? That was very cool. All right, so I'm thinking, I'm sort of playing with the idea of putting a grid pattern, sort of a wonky grid going, something simple going in a different direction. Yes, Angela. Absolutely. Angela has a friend that is making easels, laptop easels that are really cool. And I, in fact, want to know price-wise and how I can get one, Angela, because they have storage in them and all kinds of nice things, and I would love to try that out. So, yes, Angela, go ahead and leave that linked in the Facebook group for sure. And tell him to save one for me. All right. And if you want, when I get mine, then I can do a promo for you. All right. Let's see. Welcome to the nut house. That's what Carlito has to say. She's right. It's a nut house. So I'm kind of wanting to add orbs in here, but that might be not with this border. And gotcha. All right. I'm thinking. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Don't ask me what I'm doing. I don't know. I'm hoping this will come out as some sort of a square grid. But I don't know. Okay. So let's see what happens. Let's put this one over here. This one. Wow, Cindy, this is really going to be a wonky grid, isn't it? And why not? I'm a wonky girl. I have no idea. Yeah, why not? Why not, guys? Because I can. That's why. That's why. Yeah, I don't care. Oh my goodness. If I don't know, what hope have you got? Well, I frequently ask that question because I don't know either. All right, let's go the other direction and see what happens. I'm just going to do something like floors, I think. Something very simple and understated. Up here, I don't care. It's just if I have a vaguely squared off type of a grid, then I'm fine with that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Thank goodness. All right. So I know I'm not really explaining this. I'm just sort of putting a square grid in here in between. I don't know what's going to happen to it. I don't know how it's going to turn out. None of these lines are actually connected to another one. I just love it. I just love it. If I don't know what's going to happen to you guys. Well, that is the question, isn't it? Hi, Patty. So I can put bales in here. I can put floors in here, which is what I'm going to do. Because, or I could put any number of those square grid things that are really simple in here. But I think floors will sort of float behind and not get me in too much trouble. So, Roseanne, I'm going to be using my square diamonds today. Well, squares are diamonds and such, just saying. And I'm going to hope very much that I don't continue to get larger each time, because that is a big problem for me in floors. We don't always get along well. We have got a crazy bunch in chat today. So If you want the shenanigans to continue, come join the Facebook group. It is called Cindy's Zenders. CYNDEES apostrophe S space Zenders, ZENDERS. And I think one of the questions to get into the Facebook group is how did we come up with the Zenders name? Well, first you were Enders because you watched my videos to the end. And then Carlito came by with her really cool flash of awesomeness and gave us the Zender name, which I think was a cool name. We added the Zen to the Enders, and we got Zenders. I think that's pretty awesome. I don't think any of the rest of these are like that. All right. And just like that, it all is connected. Zenanigans, please. I will try. We need our own lexicon. Well, Cindy, my jerking thing is really going to town today, so there is no telling what's going to come out of my pen, which is always fun. I always try to breathe and relax my hand. Sometimes it helps, sometimes not. All right, now, okay, well, it's still, but I'm okay with it. All right, let's do some shading and some playing with color real quick, and then we will call it a day. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hi, Ren, how are you? She's off. She's off to the next thing, poor thing. So I am using my Arteza Real Brush Pen. This is an amethyst purple shade. And I am putting this down in the base. Now, I have not tested this out with this pattern yet. But I managed to make it work on an apprentice tile, so I figure it can only get better. I want most of the color down there in the tip. Then I do want to draw up a little bit. You can use your Tombows, or any water-based marker is going to get you the same thing. And of course, the type of paper you use is gonna make a difference. Remember, everywhere where the lines converge, where they come together, that is a natural shading place. So that's where we want the deepest color. All right, let's test this out and see how it goes. Oh, Caden. Carlito is asking about one of the videos that I had last year with a little boy named Caden on there, and that is Mari's cousin. Is my Sean's son, or one of them. He has two. So that's who that was. Caden, unfortunately, and his mom moved to another state, so they are too far to visit now. I'm hoping that at some point Mari and I can afford to rent a car and go see them. We're already doing that kind of thing for this month. My niece is actually having her wedding that she missed last year. She ended up, where's my, she ended up having it on Facebook, which was, anyway. You know, the year of COVID, it sucked. She finally got to go down and do in-person graduation from college. But she never did get her senior recital or any of the other things that music students do, which makes me sad. So I'm just sort of blending this up and working really hard to leave the very top bright and white. And I will, once I spread this a little bit, I will come back in with my Arteza pen and add a little more ink there, so the bases are a little bit more dark, or a little bit darker, sorry. Grammar police and all that. Remember, the paper you're working on makes a big difference for your result on these. Your hot press watercolor paper, or for that matter cold press, will be fine, but anything less you might struggle with blending marker type things. You really want a paper that is made for water. You can use the Canson mixed media paper, and that's not bad. It's just thin, and it will have a limit to how much water it can take. I'm just going about this, and when I come back in and I add my extra color down here in the base, I'm going to bring up a little bit more, and once this has been wet, that's going to spread much more easily. Non-slip tops. Angela, I am so pumped up that you have gotten that done. That is something I have wanted to do forever. I just don't know anybody that can do that kind of work. And so I am so cool. That is so cool that you were doing that. I bet you guys will have a good, very good deal going in Europe, since I don't think there's anything like that over there. But I would imagine with people in the States not being able to get anything from Danette, that you may have some business from over here, and I definitely want one. We're again talking about the turntable easels that Angela has a friend who is making some. And she showed us on the Zoom class, and they are really cool. So if you have been looking for one of these turntable types of easels, and you have not been able to get one, hang in there for a little bit. She is working on getting all of that sorted out. Okay, so when I finished this with the water-based markers before, this is what I had as well. lines, right? And that's not what I want when I'm doing these things. I want a smooth blend. So I went back through with my Arteza pen. Kimberly says, yeah, that's a good question. Kimberly, I feel you. Have I told you or given you the tip about using premium copy paper? For people on a budget, it is much nicer to draw on than regular copy paper. And it's much thicker, or at least it feels thicker to me. And so that's a much nicer budget type of a possibility for copy paper. So you might try that. Premium, look for premium printer paper or premium copy paper. It just has a little bit more weight, and so it can handle a tiny bit of wet media, not much, but a tiny bit of wet media. But you might try that and see if that's a better budget alternative. And Kimberly, I was where you are now. I have lived in your shoes, honey. And so hang in there, okay? Things change, the world changes, and you never know what is in the future for you. So hang in there. You don't need a Zentangle tile, Kimberly, to do Zentangle. You don't need it. Now, are they wonderful? Yes, they're wonderful tools, but you don't need them to tangle at all. I went years without ever having an actual Zentangle tile, and the first one I had was gifted to me by a CZT that I met on Mosaic, on Zentangle Mosaic app. So I understand how you feel about this. And of course, once you try one, you'll understand. But still, for people on budgets, use what you've got. Use what you've got. It does not matter because Zentangle doesn't care what you draw on. It just wants you to be relaxed, right? The nice thing about Zentangle tiles or hot press watercolor paper is that this kind of thing is possible where it wouldn't be on copy paper. And so, but you start with what you have and you use the tools that you have. And as you go along, you pick up here and there some things, and before you know it, you have a closet full. Trust me, it just works that way. You start to ask for things for your birthday or for Christmas from family. And yeah. So Project Pack 10, I think that's a good place. A great place to start. That's that legend. They call it a legend. That's where they have the booklet where you're filling in each square with a tangle. And I think they go through a lot of the original tangles in there. I have not done that project pack yet, but that is also one that I would like to do. I'm going to play in this Phi one first, and then we'll see. And remember, you don't need project packs materials to do these videos. You can just watch them and do it on whatever you have. I'm not going to, I mean, I bought Project Pack 11, but I'm not going to, most of them I have enough stuff. I don't need to buy anything extra. Okay, so once you've drawn your color up towards the tip, but not completely covered the tip, we're going to stop and let that dry. At least I am. Now, I still have lines here for sure. But when I come in here with my Verithin, I'm going to even out some of these, and you won't even know it was there. It's going to take care of that for me. All right, now. The question now is, They will be the original Zentangle tiles are awesome. And yeah, they're $35, or it depends on where you are, I guess, if you're talking about American dollars or something else. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my Arteza pen, and I'm going to very, very carefully dab some color into the center of this little guy right here, where my dots were, right? Just going to put a little dab of color. Not too much, since this one was pretty small. I'm going to try really hard not to get in my orbs. It's going to be tough. Oops, skipped one, didn't I? Okay, now on the end, I'm going to want a little bit of color right there where it overlaps. At least I do. I don't know what the rest of y'all are going to do. I'm just kidding. Okay. And now I'm going to come down here and do the same type of thing. I'm going to be a little bit, I'm going to try to be careful with this. I'm not exactly sure how I want it to look. Okay. Let's spread this out and see where we're at. Oh, I'm so glad Susan says she got past the ugly stage and she is so happy with her art today. That is a wonderful experience, and it's such a good lesson when you power through the ugly stages and you find something wonderful at the end. It's such a good lesson to learn. Not to give up on your tile, not to give up on your art. Now this one won't be as intense as this one color-wise. And I'm okay with that. I don't want that. This is a different thing than this. So it has different needs, if you will, if you don't mind me humanizing the art. There we go. Carlito, tell Luke he needs to get a pen and a piece of paper and draw with us. I don't care if he's no good. He'll learn something. It'll make him a better person. He'll be calmer when he gets to the end. He won't need as much beer. Or ale, or whatever it is they drink in England when they're a dude. Over here it's beer. Whiskey, huh? Well, that's too bad. You just want the color to be a little bit circular, you know, something like that. All right, now for the last one, very carefully spread this around. If you ever feel like your aqua brush is too dry, just squirt some out over a paper towel. You'll find your brush is a lot wetter when you come back. Sometimes too wet. I love this version. It is just my favorite thing. This slinky, I'm calling it the slinky version with the curved lines. I love it. It looks like sort of worms. I think it's so cool. Do you guys know what slinkies are? I know my American peeps will know what they are. You guys in the UK and Europe, you guys know what slinkies are, right? Colors being shapes. A circular color. I don't know what a circular color would be. Is that a color that turns its back on the squares? I don't know. All right, so a hint of color. Yeah, now. Okay, good deal. You know what a slinky is, then you're cool. All right, I need you guys to turn the volume down because I'm going to have to dry this tile off, okay? Turn your volume down, everybody. Turn your volume down. You ready? Everybody ready? All right, here we go. Got your volume down? Okay. Just like that. All done. You don't want to work over, put any other media on the tooth of your paper. If it's damp, it will just pull everything up. So make sure you get it nice and dry. Now I am switching. Luke's fingers are like sausages. He says he's really heavy-handed. He'll stick to plastering. He has painted by numbers once. All right. You're funny, Angela. She says, "What, Cindy? I can't hear you. My volume's down." Smarty. All right, now I'm going to come through here and smooth out some of these spots that may not be quite even color-wise. And I'm using my Prismacolor Verithin in violet, which is a little redder than the amethyst color I was using, but it's going to mix just fine. And I'm going to make sure I bring that up just a little bit here. And remember, I can blend these with my tortillon, so that's going to make it nice. All right, where is that little tortillon? Sometimes I just get in the mood for monochromatic stuff. So that's what we're doing today. It's purple day for me, but it could be whatever color you guys want today. Now this doesn't need too much, but I do want to even out some of my color here and there. All right, let's get the tortillon. Bye, Lynn. See you there. Well, I had the stinking tortillon out. Fine, we'll use this big one. All right, use the green side because I can. All right, so I am just going to go through here and in little circles blend my pencil. And there may be some here I have to add a little more, we'll see. And I don't need blending solution or anything like that for these Varathins. I think I do need some more pencil here. All right, much better. I don't know if this is too bright on here for you to tell. It's pretty cool looking. Okay, so I'm going to leave this for now. I may come back in here with my PN in black and sort of redefine some of these lines here in the middle. All right, so I'm just going to blend some of this here and try to avoid my orbs, of course. There. And this one. Bye, Valerie. Bonne nuit. You can just add it anywhere your lines are just, you know, anywhere you feel like it needs extra color or you've got a line with your color or something like that. It's just sort of a blending tool. Yeah. All right. Now I have one last thing to consider here. Well, actually, probably two last things, but we'll see. One is what I want to do in here, and I am tempted to maybe put tipple back in here and ink around it, or just ink this. I'm not sure yet. So I'm still going to decide that. The other thing I'm going to consider is doing some shading around the edges of this so that it shades onto this background that I added, this floors pattern. Oops, making a mess here. And remember, these pencils, these Verithin pencils, you can erase them too, as long as you don't have them down too thickly. So something like this, and let's see how this turns out. I don't mind being your guinea pig, your test subject. I think I'm going to have to remove some of the wax on the tip of this. I've got too much buildup to grab this. So what to do when your tortillons stop working is you know, get the wax off the end. Yep. Yeah. That should do better now. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah. Yeah, I kind of like that. So what I will probably do, add this around this side, and then do the same thing around here. Now, even though this isn't a complete aura, as in there are gaps in it, I can still shade around the back of it, right? So, you just act like it's a solid thing and go right around it. Okay, so I'll probably stop there. The other thing I could do in here is pencil this. Now I did that really lightly, but that's the other thing I could do, is just put colored pencil back there and see how that goes. Let me blend this here. You guys will see me shift this, turn the tortillon in my hand, or the paper stump in this case. This is because it changes the side that I'm using, and it will grab the pencil a little bit better once there is wax on one side. So that's why I do that. It's a good habit to be in anyway with your pencils and pens, is to shift them, rotate them in your fingers as you work. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. All right. I wonder. I might do that. It's just I think it might look better with ink and orbs. I just haven't decided. So, how's everybody doing in chat? Are there any questions? I think Fanny's leaving us, so thank you for joining us, Fanny. I hope we will see you soon. All right. So I think this is where I'm going to stop today. I probably will use some shading to make these little orbs into little orbs, more 3D. And I'm going to do something in here, not quite sure what. But by adding this drop shadow and the background that we put in, we sort of gave this a little bit more cohesiveness. And yeah, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. So the only other thing I'm going to do is either take my white Prismacolor or my chalk pencil and go over the tips of these so that they are a little brighter. But that's really it. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. You are awesome people. I see that PJ was here and Lala's Art Studio is here. Hi, Darcy. Thank you so much for managing chat today, Angela and Carlito. And I think that she's stalking material. Okay, don't get them started, Carlito. You're funny. Hi, Carol Art. All right. You must be in Australia or New Zealand, I'm thinking. Bye, Isabel. Thank you for being here. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Next week, we will do the Zoom thing, the Zoom meeting, and have some fun together. And in the meantime, I will see you guys on Facebook. Hopefully, don't forget to like the video before you leave. And I appreciate your time today. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for day 94.